Okay, so now let's have a look at some of the other options of hatches like set origin and associative hatches. So here we have these two simple rectangles and both of them are of same dimensions. Now let's move on to this hatch tool and I'll select this NC31 pattern. I'll keep this pick points active and now click on this area. So in this case, I've selected this area of the rectangle and here make sure this associative option is checked. Now I'll simply close this hatch. Now we'll create a new hatch pattern here, but this time we'll make it non-associative. So once again, I'll go to this hatch tool, same settings in this case also, but simply uncheck this associative option. So now click on this area and close hatch creation. So you'll find no visible difference in between these two hatch patterns, although one of them is associative and the second one is not associative. So let's select this hatch pattern. And in this case, you'll see this simple grip. Now, in this case, we have the grip at the center, but we also have the boundary grips. Now, that's not the only difference. In this case, let's select the boundary or the rectangle and let's move it. And the hatch pattern changed itself. Now let's do the same thing here. I'll select this and I'll move the boundary. But now the hatch did not move. It's still at its initial position. So that's the actual difference between an associative and a not associative or non-associative hatch. In this case, you have additional boundaries along with the hatch. So now here we have the boundaries and you can use these boundaries to move the hatch pattern like this. Now let's press Ctrl Z to get back to the original rectangles, and now we'll learn about the origin option. So let's select this hatch pattern and this time I'll select a different pattern. Let's select this ARP816 pattern and now click in this area. Now the hatch pattern scale is quite big and we need to change it. We need to actually decrease its value in order to see it clearly. So I'll go to this scale and I'll change its value to 0.1 and press enter. Okay, so that's the hatch pattern here. Now look at the hatch pattern which is applied here. Now in this case, the pattern started from any random point and it's now following the rest of the geometry, but we don't have control over the full block size. Now let's say that we want a full block on this corner. We want the complete block to start from this side and we want the rest of the block to follow that pattern. Now for that case, you can specify an origin point, and to do that, select this set origin option and click at a point where you want to specify the origin. In this case, it will be this point. Now click here and you'll notice a change here. Now this side we have this complete block and rest of the blocks will follow this origin. Similarly, if you want to change the origin, you can select it here as well or any other point. I'll go to set origin again and I'll click at this point. Now the origin changed to this point. So that's the set origin tool. You can use this tool on other patterns also. For example, I'll select the same hash tool. I'll select the NC31 pattern and I'll change the scale to 1 and let's apply the hatch here. Now if you zoom into this area, you'll notice that the hatches are not starting from this vertex. Now what if you want the hatch to start from this vertex? Obviously you can change the origin. So go to set origin, click on the vertex, and the first hatch will start from this vertex and rest of the hatches will follow the pattern. So in this way you can precisely change the pattern of hatches and you can specify the origins, and it will be very helpful in many cases. For example, if you want to make a tiled pattern somewhere on the wall, then this can be really helpful in deciding the side where you want the full tile to remain visible. So let's now click on this close hatch creation. And that was all about the set origin and associative option of hatches.